Hello, and welcome back to Talk About It in English. If you are here, it means you want to move beyond just understanding English in your head. You want to speak it with your mouth. You want to talk about real life. Today, we are going to solve one of the biggest problems every English learner faces. I am sure you know this feeling. Imagine you see a friend or a colleague. They smile at you. They say, "Hello, how are you?" You smile back. You say, "I am fine, thank you." And then silence. Just quiet, awkward silence. You look at them. They look at you. You smile nervously. Maybe you look at your phone. You want to say more, but your mind is empty. The conversation is dead. That is exactly what we are fixing today. We are going to teach you a simple strategy to make sure you never run out of things to say. It is not about learning 1,000 new words. It is about changing how you structure your sentences. We call this the ping-pong method. Think about the game of ping-pong, or table tennis. To play the game, two people need to hit the ball back and forth. If I hit the ball to you, and you catch it and put it in your pocket, the game is over. The game stops. Conversation is exactly the same. When someone asks you a question, they are serving you the ball. If you give a short, one-word answer, you are catching the ball and stopping the game. We want you to hit it back. We want to keep the rally going. This is such a perfect comparison because so many learners treat English conversation like a police interview. In an interview, I ask a question and you answer it. Then I ask another question and you answer it. That is not a conversation. That is an interrogation. A conversation is a circle. It goes round and round. Today, we are going to give you the formula to keep that circle moving. It is called the ABC loop. ABC. It is very easy to remember. Let's break down what ABC stands for. This is the core of the ping-pong method. A stands for answer, B stands for bridge, and C stands for cast. Answer, bridge, cast. If you use all three of these every time you speak, you will be fluent in small talk instantly. Let's start with A. A is for answer. This is the easy part. Someone asks you a question and you answer it directly. If someone asks, "How was your weekend?" the answer is, "It was good." If someone asks, "Do you like coffee?" the answer is, "Yes, I do." Most learners are very good at the answer. In fact, most learners stop at the answer. That is the problem. If you only give the answer, you are killing the conversation. You are being polite, but you are being a conversational dead end. That brings us to B. B is for bridge. This is the most important part. This is where the magic happens. A bridge connects your short answer to more information. It adds a little bit of color. It adds a little bit of detail. Think of a physical bridge. It takes you from one side of the river to the other. In conversation, the bridge takes you from a short, boring answer to an interesting topic. The bridge is simply one extra piece of information, just one. You do not need to tell a long story. You just need to add one detail. For example, let's go back to the question, "Do you like coffee?" The answer is, "Yes, I do." The bridge is, "I usually drink 2 cups every morning to wake up." Do you hear the difference? The first version is flat. The second version paints a picture. It gives the other person something to hold on to. It gives them information. Or let's look at the question, "How are you?" The answer is, "I am fine." The bridge is, "I finally finished a big project at work today." Now you are not just fine. You are a person who finished a project. You have given the listener a gift. You have given them a topic to talk about. The bridge changes everything. Finally, we have C. C is for cast. To cast means to throw something, like casting a fishing line into the water. In the ping-pong method, cast means you throw the ball back to the other person. You ask a question. You return the turn to them. If you answer in bridge, you have done a great job talking about yourself. But if you stop there, you are still holding the ball. You need to hit it back across the table. You need to ask a question to keep the game going. So let's put it all together with that first example. Question, "How was your weekend?" A, answer, "It was great." B, bridge, "I went to the park with my dog because the weather was sunny." C, cast, "Did you do anything fun?" Listen to that flow. It is perfect. It was great. I went to the park with my dog because the weather was sunny. Did you do anything fun? That is a full turn in the game of ping pong. You answered, you shared a detail, and you invited the other person to speak. If you do this, the awkward silence disappears. The other person will naturally answer your question and the game continues. This sounds simple, but it takes practice. We are going to practice this together right now. We are going to look at two specific scenarios. The first scenario is the most common conversation starter in the world, the weekend. This usually happens on a Monday morning. You are at work or at school or meeting a friend. They ask, "How was your weekend?" First, I want you to listen to a bad example. I want you to listen to a conversation where the speakers do not use the ping-pong method. Listen to how dry and short it sounds. "Hey, how was your weekend?" "It was good." "Did you do much?" "Not really, just relaxed." "Okay, nice." "Yeah." That was painful to listen to. It felt heavy. It felt like the speakers did not want to talk to each other. But often it is not that you don't want to talk, it is that you don't have the strategy. Now, let's fix this using the ABC loop. We will take the same situation, but we will add the bridge and the cast. Imagine I ask you, "How was your weekend?" Step A is the answer. You can say, "It was relaxing." Now, step B, the bridge. We need a detail. Why was it relaxing? What did you do? You can say, "I watched a really good movie on Saturday night." Now, step C, the cast. Ask me back. You can say, "How about yours?" Let's put that together. "It was relaxing. I watched a really good movie on Saturday night. How about yours?" Do you see how easy that is? You are using simple grammar. I watched, past simple. It was, past simple. You don't need complex vocabulary. You just need the structure. Let's try another bridge for the weekend. Maybe your weekend was busy. Question, how was your weekend? It was actually pretty busy. Bridge, I had to help my sister move into her new apartment. Cast, did you have a relaxing weekend? Let's analyze the grammar here for a second, because this is Talk About It in English, and we want you to be accurate. When you build your bridge for the weekend, you are almost always using the past simple tense. You are talking about finished actions. I went to the park. I saw a movie. I ate dinner. I played soccer. I slept a lot. A great way to build a bridge is to use the word because. It was good because I slept a lot. It was tiring because I worked all Saturday. The word because forces you to make a bridge. It forces you to give a reason. I want you to try this right now. I am going to ask you the question. I want you to speak out loud wherever you are. If you are on the bus, you can whisper. If you are at home, say it loud. I will ask you, how was your weekend? I want you to give me an answer, a bridge using the word because, and a cast. Are you ready? Here we go. So, how was your weekend? Let's practice a work scenario. Imagine you are at a conference or a networking event. Someone asks, "So, what do you do?" This is a scary question for many people. You might panic about your job title. Forget the complex title. Use the ABC method. Answer, I am a marketing manager. Bridge, I mostly help tech companies sell their software. Cast, what kind of work do you do? The bridge here explains the action. I help tech companies. That is much more interesting than just the title. And the cast hands the ball back. Let's try a role play. I will be the stranger. I will ask you a question about your job or your studies. I want you to answer, add a detail about what you actually do, and then ask me back. Ready? So, what do you do for work? Pause for listener. Did you remember to ask me back? That is usually the part people forget. They get so focused on their grammar for the answer and the bridge that they forget the cast. They drop the ball at the end. Always remember to throw it back. Now I want to talk about a secret weapon. This is something that makes you a master of conversation, even if your vocabulary is small. It is called active listening. In the game of ping-pong, when the other person is hitting the ball, you are not just standing there like a statue. You are moving. You are watching. You are ready. In conversation, when the other person is speaking, you need to show them that you are listening. If you just stare at them with a blank face, they will think you don't understand, or that you are bored. You need to make listening sounds. These are small words and sounds that say, I hear you. Go on. That is interesting. In English, the most common ones are, really? Wow. Oh, nice. Right. I see. No way. Let's practice these sounds. The intonation is very important. If you say, really, with a flat voice, like, really, you sound bored. You sound sarcastic. You need to go up at the end. Really? It sounds like a question. It shows surprise. Repeat after me. Really? Again. Really? Now try, no way. We use this when something is surprising or shocking. No way! No way! And I see. We use this to show we understand serious information. I see. Right, I see. Let's see how this fits into the ping-pong method. The ping-pong method is what you do when it is your turn to speak. Active listening is what you do when it is not your turn. So the conversation looks like this. Me. I went to Paris last weekend. You. Really? Wow. Active listening. Me. Yeah, it was beautiful but very expensive. I bet. Did you see the Eiffel Tower? ABC loop. You didn't answer a question, but you cast a new one. Wait, let's look at that. Sometimes you don't have to answer. Sometimes the other person makes a statement, not a question. Statement. I went to Paris last weekend. There's no question there, so you cannot answer. In this case, you skip A. You just do B and C, or just C. Reaction. Wow. Cast. Did you go with your family? This is an advanced ping-pong move. You are catching a statement and turning it into a question. If someone says, I am really tired today, you can react, oh no, and cast, did you go to bed late? See? You are keeping the ball moving. The worst thing you can do is say nothing. If someone says, I am really tired, and you say nothing, the conversation dies. Let's do a dedicated practice session. I will give you a prompt. I will tell you what the other person says. Then I will tell you which parts of the ABC method to use. Prompt 1. Your friend says, I bought a new car. I want you to react, active listening, and cast. Ask a question. Go. Did you say something like, wow, what kind of car is it? Or, really? Is it fast? That is perfect. Prompt 2. Your colleague says, I have so much work to do this week. I want you to react and cast. Go. You could say, oh, I see. Is it a big project? Or, oh no, do you need any help? Prompt 3. A stranger at a party asks, do you live in the city? This is a question, so I want the full ABC. Answer, bridge, cast. Go. Here is a good example. Yes, I do. I have lived here for about 3 years. Do you live here too? Or, no, actually, I'm just visiting for the week. Are you a local? I hope you can feel the rhythm. It really is a rhythm. Answer, bridge, cast. React, cast. Back and forth, back and forth. One of the big questions students ask is, what if I don't have anything interesting to say for the bridge? What if my life is boring? This is a very common fear. You think, I went to the supermarket. That is boring. I cannot say that. Here is the truth. Small talk is not about being fascinating. It is about being friendly. The other person does not expect you to be a movie star. They do not expect you to have climbed Mount Everest last weekend. If you say, I went to the supermarket, that is fine, but make the bridge specific. I went to the supermarket because I needed to buy food for the week. I went to the supermarket and it was incredibly crowded. Even a boring topic becomes a conversation if you add a detail. It was crowded allows the other person to say, oh, I hate crowded shops. Now you are connecting. So do not worry about being interesting. Just be real. Just say what happened. Real life is what we talk about. Let's talk about the cast again, the questions you ask. There are 2 types of questions in English, closed questions and open questions. Closed questions start with verbs like do, did, is, are. They can be answered with yes or no. Did you have a good weekend? Yes or no. Do you like pizza? Yes or no. Are you tired? Yes or no. Open questions start with WH words. What, where, why, when, who, how. What did you do? Where did you go? Why are you tired? In the ping-pong method, both are good, but open questions are more powerful. They force the other person to give a long answer. If you ask, did you have a good weekend? They might just say yes, and then you have to work hard again. But if you ask, what did you do on the weekend? They cannot just say yes. They have to tell you a story. I went to the beach. So if you want to make the conversation easier for yourself, use WH questions in your cast. Let's practice changing closed questions to open questions. Instead of "Did you go out?" ask "Where did you go?" Instead of "Was it good?" ask "What was the best part?" Instead of "Are you busy?" ask "What are you working on?" Let's try a shadowing exercise with open questions. I will say the phrase. You repeat it exactly after me. Copy my speed, copy my melody. What are you working on at the moment? What are you working on at the moment? How do you know the host? How do you know the host? What are your plans for the summer? What are your plans for the summer? These are great cast questions. You can keep them in your pocket and use them whenever you get stuck. We have covered a lot of ground today. We talked about why "I'm fine" is a conversation killer. We learned the ping-pong visualization. We mastered the ABC loop. Answer, bridge, cast. We practiced active listening sounds like "really" and "no way." And we looked at the difference between open and closed questions. This might feel like a lot to remember, but you don't need to memorize a textbook. You just need to remember the feeling of the game. You need to remember that holding the ball is bad. Hitting the ball is good. When you go out into the world today or tomorrow, you will have a conversation. It might be with a cashier. It might be with a neighbor. It might be a text message on your phone. I want you to try the ABC loop just once. If your mom texts you, "How are you?" do not just text back, "Good." Text back, "I'm good. I'm just watching a YouTube video about English. How is your day going?" See? Answer, good. Bridge, watching video. Cast, how is your day? It works in writing just as well as speaking. If you subscribe to this channel, it is because you want to build these habits. You don't just want grammar rules, you want to know how to behave in English. And that is what we are here for. Every week, we break down a new topic: money, health, travel, and we give you the words and the strategies to handle it like a pro. So here's your mission for this week. This is your homework. I want you to play ping pong 3 times. Find 3 different people. They can be native speakers, or they can be other learners, or they can be your cat, although your cat might not answer back. When they ask you a question, use the ABC formula. Force yourself to add that bridge. Force yourself to ask that cast question, and watch what happens. Watch how the other person smiles. Watch how the conversation continues for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Watch how you stop sweating and start enjoying it. You are capable of having long, deep, funny conversations in English. You have the vocabulary. You just needed the structure. Now you have it. A, answer. B, bridge. C, cast. Go out there and hit the ball back. Don't let it drop. You are ready to talk about real life. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.